There is a decision that you have been sitting on for a while now. And if you are really honest with yourself, the reason you have not made that decision yet is not because you do not know what to do, but because you are afraid of what will happen once you do it. You already know the answer and you've known it for some time now. But knowing and choosing are two different things. And it is in that space between knowing and choosing where you have been living. And that space is more exhausted than you realize. Because indecision does not come from laziness and it does not come from weakness, even though it can sometimes feel that way when you look at yourself and wonder why you're not moving forward. You see, indecision comes from the emotional weight of what that decision represents and from the fear of what you might lose and what might change in your life and who you might have to become once you have stepped into that choice. And what most people do not talk about is how draining it is to stay in that middle space, because every single day you wake up carrying that unanswered question with you, and it sits quietly in your mind, in your chest, and in your energy. It shows up in the way you overthink. It shows up in the way you replay the same situation over and over again, trying to find a different outcome. It shows up in the excuses that you keep telling yourself, even though deep down, you know they are not the real reason you are staying where you are. And you keep hoping, you hope that clarity will arrive one day, that somehow it will just appear and make the decision easier for you. But clarity does not come before the decision. Clarity comes after you choose. So I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself something honestly without overthinking it, without softening it, and without avoiding it. What is the one decision you have been avoiding that you already know the answer to? Now, I want you to say it, speak it out, even if it's just to yourself, because your body already knows the answer. Your intuition already knows the answer. And now it is time for your mind to catch up with what your soul has been trying to tell you. We often believe that big changes in our life comes from big, dramatic movements. But the truth is that they come from small, quiet, private decisions that no one else sees. They come from the moment you decide that you are done with something that no longer feels right. They come from moment you say to yourself that you no longer are going back to the same pattern, the same cycle, the same version of yourself that you have already outgrown. And it is in that moment of decision that everything begins to shift, even if nothing has changed yet on the outside. Because when you choose, your energy change. When you choose, your standards change. When you choose, the way you show up in your life begin to change. And that is when people start to respond differently. Situation begins to shift and space begins to open up for something new. Clarity is not just a thought that happens in your mind. Clarity is a decision that you make. And I want to take this just a little bit deeper, because that feeling you have been experiencing, that quiet nudge, that inner whisper, that keeps coming back no matter how much you try to ignore it, is not something random. It's not anxiety. It's not confusion. It's direction. Your intuition is not trying to confuse you. It's trying to guide you. And sometimes guidance does not come in a way that feels calm or comfortable, because sometimes guidance comes through discomfort. It comes through restlessness and through the things that you keep trying to avoid. You keep asking for a sign. But what if the sign has already been there the whole time? What if the discomfort that you feel is the sign? What if the pressure you are experiencing is the sign? What if the very thing that you are trying to avoid is exactly where your next level begins? Have you ever thought about that? And I know you may feel like you're not ready to make that decision yet, but the truth is you are never going to feel 100% ready, because readiness is not what creates change. Willingness is. And it's not about being fully prepared. It's about being willing to move forward even when you do not have all the answers. You see, I remember a moment in my own life where I made a decision that changed everything. And it was not a big dramatic moment that everyone else could see or celebrate. No, it was quiet. It was intentional, but it was very powerful, because I reached a point where I became tired of my own excuses, and I became tired of waiting for someone else to validate what I already knew within myself. And when I finally stopped over explaining my pain and I simply made the decision to move, something shifted. It's not instantly. It was not perfect, but it was enough for me to feel the difference. It was enough for me to feel that I was no longer stuck in that same place, in that same pattern, in that same situation. So now I want you to do something with me, not just as an exercise, but as a moment of truth for yourself. So today I want you to now choose peace over confusion. Choose alignment over comfort. I want you to start choosing yourself. And when you do this, you will start to feel the shift. Not a big one, but you begin to feel the change. So I want you to let the feeling settle into your body, because this is not just about making a decision in your mind today. This is about choosing the version of you that already knows what is right for you. This is about trusting the part of you that has been speaking to you for so long, but you have closed your ears and not listening. Because once you make that choice, it does not mean that everything suddenly becomes easy. No, I'm not going to lie to you. But it does mean that everything becomes clearer and you begin to see people for who they really are. You begin to feel lighter, even if you're still figuring things out. You begin to move through your life with a sense of direction that was not there before. You see? Inner peace does not come from having all the answers. It comes from you no longer betraying yourself. And when you reach that place, you stop. You stop settling for less than you deserve. You stop shrinking yourself into a space that no longer aligns with you. And you start showing up in a way that is real, grounded, and true to who you are. So let's be honest about what this really is. This is not about a job, a relationship, or a situation. This is about you, your life, your one life. And that is where your future begins. Because the moment you choose yourself is the moment your life begins to respond to that choice. And I know one thing for sure. You are ready now. So go ahead and make that choice. I'm Estella. This is Redefine Her World, where we rise together, heal together, and redefine our life one step at a time. This is our final episode. So if you stayed with me for all these previous sessions, thank you for being committed. Thank you for keep coming back. Thank you for doing the work on yourself. Please don't forget, I release a video every Sunday. Keep coming back, showing up for yourself, being the better person that you already know you are. Know that I love you so much and thank you for supporting me. Love you all. Take care. Bye.